Hello, this is Jon Miller, the creator of The Rest of Everest. I think I can safely say that this show is, without a doubt, the most in-depth look into the entire experience of what it takes to climb Everest, as well as some other peaks throughout the Himalayas. But all of the events in this series are shown in chronological order, so if you're new to the show, please go all the way back to episode 000 and watch everything in order. That's truly the best way to enjoy it. Thanks. We still have space on the 2011 photography workshop. If you're interested in joining us, now is definitely the time to grab your spot. This year we will not be visiting Everest, but instead we'll be trekking to a mountain in western Tibet called Mount Kailash. Kailash is a very spiritual and holy mountain, and is the favorite trek of most of my Sherpa friends. All of the information for the 2011 workshop can be found on a new website I've set up called HimalayanWorkshops.com. I'm very excited to say that the Kailash trek will be our most affordable trip to date, and will also be a relatively short trip at just over 2 weeks. I know that many people have wanted to join us in the past, but just haven't been able to afford the 3 to 4 weeks that those other trips have lasted. So far, we already have a few repeat customers from our first and second workshop treks, and that just goes to show how important and meaningful these trips are to everyone who participates. They're so much more than an outdoor photography classroom. They're the adventure of a lifetime. Again, please visit HimalayanWorkshops.com for all of the details, and we hope to see you at Kailash in 2011.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 150, Bhaktapur, 2010.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Rest of Everest. I'm Jon Miller. Very excited to show all of you this episode because this is something that I unfortunately did not get to do myself this year, and this is of course 2010 when all of this footage was taken. But the group was able to go to the City of Bhaktapur, the city of art and architecture. It's a very, very old city, and it just has a lot of amazing things to see, and there seemed to be some sort of festival going on because there was a lot of drumming. But I had to stay behind and do a lot of business and Thamel, making sure we had supplies and everything, but the people joining me on Skype all got to go, so they got to go and took a lot of video and stills, and I really appreciate all the video they took because that's what you're about to see. So it's the same group actually we had last week. So we've got Shaquille from Washington, D.C. We've got Jill from Nevada. We've got Tilo from Germany, Nicole from Australia, Jeffrey from Canada, Dave from Texas, and Damien from Maryland. How are all of you guys doing today?
Great.
Hey, good, John.
Great.
All right, so since I didn't get to go, I don't have much to say, so I'm going to let you guys do most of the talking. I might ask some questions, but let's go ahead and head up to the entrance to the city of Bhaktapur. So here we go.
So from a photography, well, let's wait till Shaquille is here. I want to say a few words about photography. I want to give you a few things to keep in mind while you shoot today. But we'll wait till everyone's here.
Does it all, right?
Right. This, all of a sudden, you
think
have
Jill,
the
you were
timing
filming
factor
this.
added.
I don't remember. It's all a blank.
It's funny, I don't remember these steps at all. And, I think Pemba was filming this stuff.
This is the Bhaktapur.
Okay.
Hi, Fluffy.
That was Roger, the last one to exit that frame there, and that was very much like Roger. He would leave and kind of explore on his own, kind of like, I want to see what's behind that wall, and stuff like that. I always thought that was great. So I have to ask, you'll see a lot of drumming and stuff coming up in just a minute here, but what was going on this day? Can anyone tell me?
It was a festival to observe Lord Ram. Some victory. that they did, and that's all I wrote on the back of my Welcome to the City of Culture, $10 US.
Where are we?
We are in now Bhaktapur.
Bhaktapur.
Yeah.
What is Bhaktapur?
Bhaktapur means city of devotees.
Okay,
There's
City of
many.
Devotees.
Yes.
How old is it?
I don't know exactly, but it's a world one.
It's a world wonder?
Yes.
Really? It's in the World Heritage?
Yes, World Heritage Site.
Okay, and it has Hindu temples?
Yeah, it's 55 windows. Darbar Square.
Yeah, this was one of the most special highlights in the whole trip, because I'd never seen a Hindu festival before, and we were there just, I guess it's a week long, but this was one of the big days of the festival, and had some really good conversations with the local people there, and even prayed with them for a little bit.
This was great. I think I was sitting with Dave and Jeff, and we had this great vantage point from this restaurant that was way up high, and we got to watch these guys dance and play these instruments. It was amazing.
Actually, I have a great picture of your lunch.
Was it? Was it?
You had? No, I remember what you had, Jill. You had potatoes and cheese.
Yum! That sounds delicious. It was good too. I do remember that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this was one of, as Shaq said, this was one of the highlights. Especially if you were doing video on your DSLR. I mean, I think all of us have just some fantastic footage from this day, because the sights and the sounds, and then Dave, pipe in here, because you and I, if you recall, when we went lower in the village, we decided to take a right turn and just get lost.
Oh yeah, we just took off down the hill and into the parts that probably most people don't explore.
Dave got some great shots. Yeah, this was a wonderful day.
This was great. Jeff, did you shoot this, or Dave?
This isn't me.
This is, I think, Chris Marpart. That zoom out looked like it was a DSLR camera. Otherwise, it would have been Pemba. Because Pemba pretty much took control of my one of my video cameras, my big video camera, and did just all this amazing filming. Because I was using my little 3D rig most of the time.
I saw some of Shaq's stuff. Shaq got some great. Shaquille, you got some great stuff of. You got close in to them actually playing the instruments.
Yeah, I spoke to a lot of them, and they allowed me to do that, and that was great. Got some great pictures too. Had a nice conversation with this lady as well, and she's a pretty amazing artist as well.
What is she doing there?
She was creating prayer beads or decoration beads.
Does anyone have any idea what this is? Is this just like soda, or is this some kind of alcohol?
It's soda, but he was mixing it. He was actually mixing flavors and then adding actually some fruits to it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you were going to do it later, John, but there's a guy doing... I just love taking pictures of him. The guy with the peanuts, all the nuts, in the blue wagon. Did you ever see him? He was...
I'm not sure.
He would take a bunch of nuts and oil, pour it into... or put it into a bowl. He would mash it all up with a mortise and pestle. He would add oil to it. And then he would make a cone out of paper. And then he would take it to the shop owners or whoever. He was basically going down the street, and he would take this mixture. It was like a mash of all these beans, popcorn, peanuts.
That sounds great.
Those sound good.
This again is Pemba Filming, and you're about to get a photo lesson from Chris Marquardt here. And I don't remember seeing this area when I was there in 2003 either. So again, it's just so amazing to see all of this stuff.
This is a pretty big city, actually. A number of times I was with two different groups, and we got lost and just listened to where the music was coming from and started walking up that way.
I don't want to talk over the top of Chris, but Dave and I were in here, and what's so fascinating is Chris is having the same problem that Dave and I were having, right, Dave? We didn't know how to shoot this thing. We spent a half an hour trying to figure out how to shoot it.
I'm trying to get really close to make this shine. I'm seeing these coins up here, and there's some, I think, some sacrifice up here, some cones of rice, and this snake just works beautifully, this cobra. Together with these coins is sacrifices, so I'm going to get really close to get all the distractions out of the way.
There's Stefan.
Yeah.
And Pemba in the background too.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I'm not too happy with the background because there's clutter, there's other stuff in the background, so I'm trying to reposition myself to get the background out of the way and get a cleaner background and get a even more strong shot this way.
Dave, you remember us talking about how to shoot this? We struggled.
Oh, yeah. All right, we even talked about going down into the pit a little bit.
I know. I was, when I saw this, I just thought...
now there's a person just walked in the background, so timing is everything. You have to wait. Sag das nochmal. Take the shot when you can. Don't wait too long. Otherwise you'll just sometimes lose the opportunity or have to wait longer. Trying to evaluate the composition from different angles. So sometimes what I do is I walk around the subject and I try to look at it from different angles just to see what perspectives really work. Sometimes I even take lots of pictures from different angles just to give me more choice later on. Sometimes I find that one shot works better than the other. So let me give that a try.
What I ended up doing was laying down on the ground and shooting up, laying right down there.
I think this one shot that I just found by accident really works well. If you take it with a lot of symmetry. I was trying to get the symmetry in there with the bigger cobra down there and the smaller cobra here, so I took one in the background of the other. I deliberately chose a busy background there, but it helps the subject, kind of really emphasizes the symmetry, and turns out that really worked.
It doesn't show it, but it was very gold and shiny, John.
So there's just people playing music everywhere this day? Just every place you look?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there were so many different groups, and they all had different colors, and there was a competition as well.
Oh, okay.
So as they were walking, John, they would compete and try and get louder than the other group. It was all friendly, but they would walk past each other, and you would hear them go off down other alleys.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, Jeff, do you remember the kind of like grandstand or where all the elders were sitting? And every group would go past there?
Yeah. That's where, remember, we were shooting those, the kids with the ice cream cone.
Yeah, yeah.
And another funny thing that I saw, and because I could understand a little bit of the language, was that the younger kids would really start singing and playing their musical instruments when they passed a group of girls. So.
Yeah, what I find amazing was also that the groups that are singing and playing the instruments were all guys. They were all men.
Very good point. Yes. Yeah. There was one girl I remember, but you're right, Nicole.
I didn't realize that, yeah.
I have to beg to differ a little bit because I have some shots of groups. I guess there were the more, not professional, but school groups. And the girls didn't play instruments, but they were there to dance or to have colorful outfits. So some pretty good pictures.
So in some instances, they were participating as well. That's good.
Yeah.
This is an ideal spot for taking a panoramic. And with all those temples, Bhaktapur apparently has over 55 Hindu temples. And you can see some of them here. You can also see the square, and that is just, I think it's called for a panoramic. So I'm just setting up the camera on manual mode. I'm actually trying to get the exposure so that I have one fixed exposure with the histogram.
I've never even considered doing a panorama in there.
So
all my panoramas are from the truck.
It's just still within the limits, and the sky is the brightest thing here. So this and the mountains in the background together, I think will make a nice panorama. So I'm trying this with.
Oh well, I'll have my chance again soon.
5 to 7. How many I will need. And as usual, taking the camera upright to get a bit more height in the panoramic, and it's just going to be a strip out of this scenery. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now you saw me rotate around myself. Usually I would rotate around the camera, but that's only necessary if there are things close to the camera. If there aren't, the only things far away, it's absolutely fine to rotate just around your own axis, and it'll hopefully turn out well. We'll see.
Yeah, from a photography perspective, Bhaktapur is an absolute sensory overload. Like, I remember standing in that square and just taking 15 minutes trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with the shots. Because there's so many colors, so many sounds, and lots of people.
Sometimes a change in perspective can really do a lot. We're here in Bhaktapur, there's a festival going on, and we just decided to come up on the top of this Buddhist temple. Actually, it's a cafe now, and we are looking at things from the top. Change in perspective, try that in photography, and it'll change your perspective. So let's have a further look here. So there's one thing that we do to help us with the altitude, and that is a medication called Diamox. Diamox apparently helps your blood to easier keep the oxygen, or to get more oxygen into it. So that is a good thing, and we're tomorrow going to fly up to Lhasa, and that's a pretty big jump in terms of altitude. And there's one thing that well, a few side effects that this Diamox has. One is that you sometimes get some tingling in the fingers and in the extremities, and that's fairly okay. But what's not okay at all is that it makes carbonated beverages taste like crap. So I'm drinking Coke here, and this is the worst Coke in my life. It really is. So Diamox. Yeah, I don't know how it does it, but if you are on Diamox, hey, try to avoid this stuff. Drink water, and you should be all right. Drink.
Yeah, it affected Chris a lot, but I was taking Diamox at this point too, and it wasn't as bad. But then again, once we started on the trek, there was not much soda anymore.
Yeah.
All Fanta.
It is bad. Yeah. Wait, but that's not all. Let's see how Monica's doing.
Awful. Point that camera away from me, please.
Yeah, they really didn't like the taste of this soda.
And Pemba's just having fun here. I have to.
He should be in movies.
It's really not good. It's really not good. Look at him laugh. Look at him. He's happy. He's laughing about the tourists, you know? It's like, haha, look at them. Oh man.
So, you know, Pemba was one of our guides, but so much more than that to those of us who have been there a few times with him. He's turned into such a great friend.
Shaq, can you talk about what we just saw, those wagons?
Sounds like there's recorded music in the background right now, so it must just have been so much music.
Gotta forget.
You know what? I'm sorry. I responded to you, but I was on mute, and I just realized it.
Okay.
So the cart is actually sort of like a mobile temple. Many times they would, have these temples that they created, and they were supposed to be temporary, and then they became, permanent fixtures. And I think that was one of them.
I mean, either Shaq or I should send you some pictures, John. They were huge. They were massive. They were big timbers, and there was 3 or 4 of them around the city, wasn't there, guys?
Yeah.
Some were in better shape than others. Actually, one of them, I think they did move. It had all its wheels.
So, this water well is a very, very special place for women. This is where they socialize. And it's a very important part of their day to come here in a group and socialize with the other women in the village.
Man, it looks like a lot of work.
It does.
Well, they're bailing water not just for themselves, but they're paid. This is a paid job. So people bring their containers, and they basically all day fill containers for people who maybe are a little more wealthy, fill up their containers and then deliver them to the house, or they come and pick them up. The interesting thing, my brother works for World Vision. They put in a lot of places, they put in water pipes, and the pipes are ruined. And as Shaq said, it's very important for them because they converse. And the reason was the women didn't get out of the house to talk and to chat. And so they really didn't want these, they didn't want the water brought right to the house. This was how they got away and got to converse.
So the village women broke the pipes?
They did. And yeah, I was trying to keep my story short, but they actually did some investigating to find out that the women were actually sabotaging the pipes.
That's great.
So it just goes to show you they were trying to do something, but they hadn't investigated the culture.
It's the same I heard from Africa, basically. I think so.
Well, pun intended, I guess.
Beautiful.
So next week we're gonna continue with just a few more things in Kathmandu, and then we're gonna be heading up to Lhasa, of course, the biggest city in Tibet, and really look forward to continuing the journey because we've really just started. And as I said, I think a couple episodes ago, maybe 3, we covered so much ground. It's kind of hard to really grasp just how much terrain we covered and how vastly different everything was. And so really excited to show everyone that. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining me in this episode. As always, really appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for doing it. Yeah.
All right, guys, and we will see you next week. Bye. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every day, and watching the show has become a part of many people's weekly routine. The show will always be free to download, but it's by no means free to produce. Please help me cover my costs by making a small monthly or one-time donation from the right sidebar on my website, and in return I'll give you some cool bonus materials. A donation of any amount will grant you access to some interesting video content, including high-definition versions of several podcast episodes, a one-time donation of $25 or more, or any of the monthly donation options will additionally grant you access to a downloadable version of the film Everest: The Other Side, which episodes 1 to 61 are based on. I really cannot express how vital these donations are, and if you've made a donation, thank you so much. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.